Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us again today. James is our guest. Thank you very much for coming.
My pleasure.
You had a long way to walk, I know. James is our neighbor. I'm going to treat you while we're talking and cooking here with a little bit of a snack. A tortilla chip with smoked salmon, herb cream cheese, and some capers.
Very nice.
Enjoy that while we're working hard, right? It is going to be Parmigiano Day. We'll do a eggplant Parmesan and a chicken Parmesan, and we'll do one of them with a little bit of a twist. Very easy to make. Yes, it is a little bit of work, but not too much, so no panic. We're going to start not with the eggplant. We're going to start with the tomato sauce. What I'm using here is just a strained tomato right out of the bottle. There's nothing with it, no spices yet. I like to do my own, so we're going to just add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and some oregano, dried. Of course, you can add fresh as well. A little Parmesan. And then I'm gonna chop some fresh basil and put that in here too. And we're gonna keep some of the leaves for later, and we'll add them fresh after this sauce has cooked for a little while. It's one of those really, really fragrant herbs, isn't it? Yeah. So just a coarse chop, and we're gonna put it right into here. Give it a stir. And put it on low to medium heat. What I like to do, but that's preference, is once it's nicely cooked and warm, I'll put a little bit of cream in it, just to take that acid away just a touch, and it makes it a little creamier, a little more rosé looking. So we'll get that going. And while it is warming up, we'll cut our eggplant. You wash it, we'll cut the tip off, and then just do little slices. You probably want about 2 slices per person. As they get smaller towards the back, of course, you count maybe 3 per person, and you should have plenty. And all we're going to do with that is salt and pepper it. And we'll whisk a couple of eggs to get them breaded. I'm using a plain breadcrumb, no spices added, because I think we're adding lots of aromas and flavors in the process with cheeses and herbs and so on. Our pan is heating up here. A little bit of oil. I'm saying a little bit, I really mean quite a bit, because you do want that to fry rather than burn to the bottom of your pan.
Matter what kind of oil?
I use vegetable oil because it's neutral. It doesn't add or do anything for flavor much. It just does the trick. It makes it nice and crunchy. You can use olive oil, nothing wrong with that. So give it a nice coating with breadcrumbs in your egg first. I know there's a more elegant way doing that. The people who know what they're doing, they do that separately. One hand is in the egg, the other hand is only in the crumbs, so you don't end up with this. But here I go. That's what I do. We'll go and put that in the fry pan. So we'll put these in the fry pan. Let them sizzle there a little bit. There we go. Turn that up just a touch. We don't need to worry about cooking it all the way through and soft quite yet, because they will go in the oven. We just want this nice crust with the breading. That makes it taste so yummy. Let's see what our water is doing. Ready for the spaghetti. So as soon as we have everything else together, we can get the pasta cooking as well. Okay, so here comes the first little batch. We're going to put this on some paper towel for a quick minute, so we don't bring in too much of the oil that we fried it in. And from there, it can go in our pan, where it's going to be waiting for the tomato sauce and the nice cheeses to go on. So while the tomato sauce is cooking, I wanted to add just a little bit of cream to it. So now all that's missing to get this in the oven, because we want to bake it for about 30-40 minutes, is our tomato sauce and a bit of cheese, and then we're almost there. We'll bring the sauce over. And we'll just ladle some. Have you tried the salmon yet?
Oh, they are
You tried it?
excellent.
You like?
What is in the cream cheese?
Oh, that's a big secret.
Okay.
Pepper, a little bit of salt, chives, parsley, green onions, lemon juice, and that's it.
It's delicious.
It is good, isn't it? It sounds so simple, but it's really, really nice to eat.
I love smoked salmon, but I noticed that
Yeah.
even if someone didn't like smoked salmon, they would really enjoy this. It
I
really
think so too. It's
comes
mild,
together
isn't
nice.
it?
It's so
Yeah,
mild.
It's a wild salmon. I love that. And it's a beautiful color too. I'm going to have you taste that sauce, because it'll be you who will feed in the end. So if you don't like the tomato sauce, we're going to have a problem.
Oh.
No pressure. And this is it, tomato sauce. On top of that, we're going to just mix a bit of cheese. I'm using a cheddar mix and some Parmesan. Edible?
The cream is a great addition.
Yeah,
I like
isn't
that.
it? Yeah.
What is that, like just regular table cream or half and half?
It's no, it's a 35%.
Oh, the good stuff.
Yeah, the whipping cream. Hey, not every day is a fasting day, right? So you want to make sure you get a little bit of Parmesan mixed on top of that, because it gives it a nice and crispy crust. Off in the oven it goes. 400 degrees, 380 degrees. We'll set that at, say, 400. And now, chicken. I thought I'll show you something today, because we're all a little concerned about pricing for meat. That obviously went up significantly over the last couple of years, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just beyond imagination. So buying chicken breast is one thing, and it's premium meat, so it's premium price. But very often we can get chicken breast whole, skin on, bone in, at a much better price. And nothing keeps you from buying that instead of the already filleted chicken breast, and cutting that fillet out, cutting the chicken breast out, and use the bones and the remaining meat to cook a nice chicken noodle soup, because there is nothing like a home-cooked chicken noodle soup. Maybe we'll get to do that in one of the shows one day. So really easy, just cut along that bone, that breastbone, and don't worry about, I'm being generous here, leaving some meat on that bone, because we want it for the chicken noodle soup later on. So you don't need to fret too much doing this perfect, just as long as you get close to the bone, stay close to it, and you cut your chicken breast off, and then you can decide later on if you want to leave the skin on or not. Some people love it, I do, and some people prefer the skinless. What's your preference on chicken? You like skin on or no?
Depends on the dish.
Yes.
Yeah.
True. Yes, that's very true. So for the chicken Parmesan, we're going to take that skin off, and you can see it just peels off easily, right? I cut the tender out because I want a bit more even chicken breast for my Parmesan.
I love the tender.
So we have one.
I love the tender, but it's gone.
Yes, well, you'll find it in that soup, you know. So,
yes.
and I don't add that in the very beginning when the bones go in to make that beautiful stock. I add it in the last 5 minutes and just let it simmer a little bit so it doesn't dry out. But that's a nice cut for little slices of white meat in your soup, and you'll appreciate them in there too.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll take those off the filet chicken breast as well. And there we go. Now for one of those, I thought I'll show you something that I think tastes good. It's not traditional and it's not really the Italian way of the chicken Parmesan. I just think it tastes fantastic. We've all heard of cordon bleu. We do cheese and ham filling in a breaded chicken, and nothing keeps you from doing that for a Parmesan as well. So if you want to add a little bit of something,
Interesting.
yeah, it really, really, really tastes quite nice. Make sure you don't cut all the way through so your spices and your ham doesn't fall out. A little bit of salt, both sides, pepper. Today we're going to put some anchovy paste in it. It's hard to identify even what you did to it, but when you taste it, you'll see it turns out just really nice. And not too much, just a little bit. And then we get our ham. We all like ham, so we're going to pack some in there. Fold that over, and here you go. And the other two, all we need is salt and pepper, and then we do the breading, and they're ready to go in the fry pan. Should probably turn that up a little bit. There we go. So that doesn't happen again.
Exactly.
We still have a little bit of egg left from breading the eggplant. We'll add one egg to it. And some Parmesan into the breadcrumbs. Now with the chicken, I like to use a bit of flour at first, so the egg makes the breadcrumbs stick a little better to the meat. Flour first, egg next, and breadcrumbs last. There's one.
So why no flour on the eggplant? Would it not?
The eggplant is a pretty dry
So it doesn't
piece.
need it?
It's not as juicy on the outside as a chicken, so it absorbs it as it is. And I
Okay,
find
so
with
that's really what
meats
the flour is
to
doing
get
is-
the moisture taken care of. And here, if you just hold this together properly, you don't even need to put a pick in to hold it together. And you handle it carefully in the pan, it won't fall apart. But you can put a little skewer, little wooden skewer or metal skewer in it to hold it together. Okay, so now we're ready to get this into the pan. A little bit more oil. We want that nice and medium hot so it doesn't go soggy on us, and you can feel the heat when you just hold your hand over it. We'll put the thicker piece in first. It sizzles quite happy. And maybe we'll leave it in a half a minute longer or so. There we go. And with this chicken, different from the eggplant, we want this cooked through all the way because it'll just go in the oven for the cheese to melt. We're not cooking the chicken anymore. So this we're going to properly cook all the way through. So let's see what the other side's doing, coming along very nicely. We'll turn that heat up just a little bit. Yep, that's looking good. Spaghetti sauce is bubbling wonderfully and smelling good. I'm going to add a touch of Parmesan to it, make it a little cheesier. That can't be wrong. So almost time to put our spaghetti in. Let's see what our chicken's doing. Look at that. Beautiful golden crust. That's what you want. We need about 15 minutes for those to cook nice and al dente. So in a few seconds, those noodles are going to fold into the boiling water, and we're going to bring the chicken to our baking dish. And here we go. 1, 2 happy chickens, and our butterfly version with the ham in it. There we go. I'm going to move this over so we have some room for our tomato sauce. And maybe just a little spoonful on each. I smell that basil and I'm loving it. Now you probably know that I like pepper, so I always give it a 1 extra twist.
Feel free.
And we'll top it with some cheese. Now you can take shredded cheese, you can use a thick slice of cheese, you can do layered small thin slices of cheese, anything you like. I like a mozzarella mix because it melts beautifully and fast. And then on top, just like on the eggplant, I'll sprinkle some Parmesan for some extra crisp. There we go. We'll put that in the oven just as long as it takes to get the cheese to melt, 3, 4, 5 minutes, and then we're going to go taste it. My timer reminded me that the eggplant is almost ready to come out of the oven. The chicken's going to be a couple more minutes. We're perfect for time, and when we come back, we'll show you how we serve the whole dish. See you then. James, let's eat.
Hey.
We're
That's why
almost. I know. So, maybe we'll start by taking our spaghettis from the stove, drain them. There we go. And I thought we're going to try 2 different versions. Sometimes with the tomato sauce on your Parmesan chicken, there is enough tomato flavor. And some people like just butter, some people like me. I just like butter on spaghetti, I love that. But some of us prefer the tomato sauce. We'll put some on 1 portion. And we'll get the butter going first. Just a few flakes. You can use olive oil as well, whatever you like better. We'll bury that butter so it can melt in the spaghetti and nice and hot.
So just butter, no other herbs or anything? Just butter?
Yeah, we're not quite finished yet.
Oh,
we're not
okay.
quite finished yet. More to come. I know you like basil, so we're not going to forget. By the way, is it basil or basil?
I go with basil.
You go with basil?
Tomato, tomato. Right?
Tomato, tomato. Yeah, I can never figure out what the basil is about. So I say usually basil. I just surprised myself by saying basil. Basil, we're just gonna put a few pieces of fresh leaf on top. This one, actually we'll move this to the side. I wanted to add something that I tried traveling in Italy. You've been in Italy too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the food there is fantastic too, everywhere you go.
Absolutely.
One of the things I learned there was using arugula as is, and just using it as is on a dish. Just stir it in, nothing done to it. And for color, I just want to chop up some tomatoes. If you want a really pretty picture, go with multicolored tomatoes. great in the summer when you can go and pick them in your garden.
Not our
But
garden.
now, no. Well,
Never had much luck with those.
and that's the only thing that ever grows for me consistently, no problems.
We'll
Let's
trade
see,
you some basil for some tomatoes.
That works for me. So there you go. One just butter and some arugula and tomatoes, and the other one with tomato sauce and basil. Both are going to taste great with the chicken. I'll leave those here while I get my pans out of the ovens. Now that's nice and hot. And here we go, your chicken Parmesan.
Beautiful.
I am hungry too now, I have to admit. And our eggplant. There. That baked just beautifully as well.
Wow.
So I think we're going to have a nice dish. So we're going to start with now this we know is the cordon bleu style chicken with the anchovy paste. Little bit of different version. Oh yeah, that's beautiful and tender, and I can tell it's juicy. Look at that. One chicken, bit of eggplant. It's always nice to be first with baked dishes if you can get that nice piece that has the most cheese on it, isn't it? And both pastas to try.
You
Yes.
said a little bit of everything. so
Good, that sounds good to me.
I've always been good with a little bit of everything.
I just love that arugula now. I've seen it in Italy again, just put on steak even, or on roasted chicken, just a handful. And as you mix it in your food, you stir it in, and it warms up a little bit, but it doesn't all wilt, not like we
Right.
do the wilted spinach. It still has a bit of a bite to it. And because it has that spice, it's just heaven. Okay. Like basil, I won't forget. So let me fish some out. Oh,
That's a
there we
meal.
go.
Oh, thank you.
So let's try this and see if it tastes as good as it looks.
It smells amazing. Where to go first? Dilemma.
Yes, I know, that's a big problem, isn't it? One, two.
I think I'm going to go with the aubergine first of all.
How do you say that in French then when it's a Parmesan? Aubergine Parmesan? Maybe?
The aubergine? I don't know.
Okay. I think we're both going to pass. My French is so long ago, it's embarrassing, it's terrible. Let's see how our ham looks. Look at this.
Oh,
That looks beautiful. Let's slice that up a little bit. Now I want to try this. Did you want some extra cheese to go on top? You can just shake some
All right, a
if
little
you'd
bit.
like some more. There we go. Perfect. Okay, eating time, tasting time. Have you tried yet?
the eggplant.
The
yes.
eggplant?
Very hot right now.
Okay, I'll stay away from that. I'll go with the chicken first.
Hopefully I can still taste other things now.
Hot as in
was very
heat,
good.
not spicy, right?
Oh no, yes, hot as in heat. Oh,
Yeah, a lot of moisture in the aubergine, so that's why the heat stayed. Which one was
well, both so far.
Both? Good.
I love the fact that the I've seen recently eggplant parmesans where it wasn't breaded. And in my mind, it's got to be breaded.
Oh, you want that
It's
texture.
the whole texture thing,
Yes,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah,
I like that too. I agree with
Yeah,
you.
that was
Yeah.
my only concern when I heard eggplant parmesan.
Oh,
Should I
okay.
be breading it?
Oh, yeah. It turned out well.
It's
Nice.
fantastic.
I'm tempted to talk with my mouth full. I have to say, I like them both, but because I'm a meat lover, I'd prefer the chicken over the eggplant. But we have a lot of people who don't like meat, so that's really going to be a nice meal on the vegetarian side. What I love most is butter on spaghetti and the arugula. That's my favorite piece in all this.
That was really good.
It is good, isn't it?
Yeah, we tend to always just put tomato sauce of
Yep.
some sort on our
Yes.
pasta, but
Yeah.
it's delicious.
You
just
almost
as it
don't
is.
need it if there's
No.
enough sauce with the meat. Okay, well, I hope everybody's going to try this out. It's worth it. It's delicious.
Oh, is
I
it
have a
worth it?
witness.
It is so worth it.
So I hope you had some fun. James, thank you so much for being patient and joining us.
Anytime
being
you'd like
my
to
guinea
cook
pig.
for me. Yes.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you soon.